Have you ever noticed that the more tightly you grip something in life, the more it seems to slip through your fingers? Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that the harder I try to control people, outcomes, and my own feelings, the more exhausted and defeated I become? Welcome back to the channel, my friend. I am really glad you are here, especially if your heart has been tired from struggling, from clinging, from trying to hold everything together by sheer force of will. Today we are going to walk slowly into a truth that sounds simple on the surface but is actually one of the deepest turning points on any spiritual path. The more you grasp, the more you suffer. The moment you truly learn to loosen that grip and let things be as they are, your destiny begins to change in ways you could not imagine before. When people hear the phrase "let it be," many misunderstand it. Some think it means giving up, being passive, allowing everything to go wrong, becoming a victim. Others treat it like a slogan they say just let it go with their mouth, but inside their fingers are still clenched around what they cannot accept. What we are going to explore together here is not resignation and not fake positivity. It is the deep wisdom of non-minus clinging, a way of seeing and relating to life that allows you to act, to care, to love, and yet not be broken again and again by what you cannot control. We will not stay in theory. We will move through stories, someone who tried desperately to change another person and only made both of them miserable. Someone who could not accept the loss of a job or a relationship and got stuck in that moment for years. Someone who learned it, step by step, to breathe, to observe, to say let it be, not as escape but as a doorway into a new kind of strength. Underneath those stories, we will keep touching the same currents: awakening, wisdom, cause and effect, practice, and the quiet unfolding of destiny. Let us begin with a very familiar pattern, one that perhaps you are living right now. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She has been in a relationship for several years. At first, everything was sweet. They stayed up late talking, held hands in the street, made plans for the future. Differences began to appear. Her partner became more distant, more focused on work, more easily irritated. Sarah felt the change and panicked inside. She thought, if I do not hold tighter, I will lose him. So, she began to grasp. She checked his messages whenever she could. She questioned him when he came home late. She replayed every small change in his tone and facial expression. She tried to be better, more supportive, more accommodating, more patient, while secretly feeling resentful and afraid. Each time he pulled away, she chased. Each time he grew colder, she tried harder to warm him up. In her mind, this was love. She told herself, I am fighting for this relationship. I am not giving up easily. What she did not realize was that behind this fight was a huge fear of loss and a belief that she could control another person's heart if she just tried hard enough. Months passed. She became more and more exhausted. Her partner felt more and more suffocated. One evening, after yet another argument that circled around the same accusations and tears, he said the words she had been dreading. I cannot do this anymore. Her world collapsed. In the weeks that followed, she could not accept the breakup. Her mind refused to believe this was real. She replayed every scene, every text, every message, looking for signs, for proof that this ending was a mistake. She imagined what she could have said differently, what she could still say to fix it. She called, wrote, begged. She stalked his social media, analyzing his posts like sacred texts. When friends suggested that she give herself time to grieve and heal, she replied, no, I cannot let this go. I must try until the end. From the outside, someone might say, this is dedication. But inside, if you could feel her heart, you would sense something else, a kind of torture. Every morning she woke up and for a split second forgot what had happened. Then the memory hit, and she felt like she was being thrown again into the same fire. Every night, she lay in bed thinking of him. Unable to rest, the relationship had already ended. But her clinging kept the suffering alive as if it were happening fresh each day. If you have ever gone through heartbreak, you probably recognize at least part of this story. You also know that there is an invisible moment when the outer situation is already finished, but the inner clinging has not let go. In that moment, reality is saying one thing. Your mind is saying another. The tension between them is what we call suffering. Now, what does let it be look like in such a situation? It does not mean pretending you do not care. It does not mean saying, "It does not matter." While your heart bleeds, deep letting be means this turning toward the truth of what has happened, feeling the pain honestly, and allowing reality to be what it is instead of endlessly demanding that it be what you want. For Sarah, the turning point came one night when she was too tired to cry anymore. She had spent hours scrolling through old photos, staring at the last message he ever sent. Her eyes hurt, her throat hurt, her whole chest felt like it had been scraped raw. In that exhaustion, a small, clear question rose in her mind: how long am I going to keep fighting with what is already gone? She saw, in a flash, that no amount of messages, tears, or analysis couldn't do the fact that the relationship had ended. She also saw that as long as she refused to accept this, she would be chained to the past. It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, choosing between clinging to a rope that was already cut on the other side, or letting go and trusting that she would somehow find a way to walk again on solid ground. She did not suddenly become wise. But that night, for the first time, she whispered to herself, "It is over. I do not want it to be. But it is. Let it be what it is. Let him go." She cried again. Not from resistance now, but from grief. It was a different quality of tears. They did not keep her stuck. They washed something. In the days after, she still had waves of longing. She still sometimes checked her phone hoping to see his name. But each time, she reminded herself, what I am missing is not here anymore. If I chase a shadow, I will only hurt myself. Slowly, she began to turn her attention back to her own life, her own body, her own friends, her own path. Let it be became not a slogan but a daily practice of pulling her mind away from the dead tree of the past and planting it in the soil of the present. This is one face of non-minus clinging. It is not cold. It is not uncaring. It is deeply respectful of reality. It says, I allow what has already happened to have happened. It does not mean you never look back. It means you stop demanding that the past change. Now, let us look at another kind of clinging, the clinging to results. Imagine a man named Jason. He has always been ambitious. He believes in hard work, in setting goals, in pushing himself. When he started his career, he put almost all his energy into climbing the ladder. He told himself, if I reach this position by this age, I will be successful. If I fail, I will be worthless. So he grasped tightly at outcomes. Every project became a test of his value. Every promotion became a mountain he had to conquer. When things went well, he felt high for a little while, then immediately worried about the next benchmark. When things went badly, he fell into panic and self-hatred. One year, after months of effort on a major proposal, he was sure he would win a big contract that would secure his team's future. He sacrificed weekends, missed family gatherings, lost sleep. He imagined the praise he would receive, the sense of relief when it all paid off. Then, unexpectedly, the contract went to another company. When he got the news, he felt like the ground had opened under him. His mind started shouting, "This is not fair. This should not happen. I worked so hard. I cannot accept this." For weeks, he kept replaying the decision, obsessing over every small detail. He blamed the client, his colleagues, himself, the economy, his childhood, everything. At night, he lay awake going through imaginary conversations where he convinced them to change their minds. The reality, again, was simple. The decision had been made, but his grasping mind could not let it be. He refused to allow what had already happened to belong to the category of done. So he lived in a state of constant friction, like someone rubbing the same wound over and over, never allowing it to heal. One day, his mentor, an older colleague who had seen many cycles of success and failure, invited him for a walk. After listening to his complaints and anger, the mentor said quietly, "You are not suffering because you lost the contract. You are suffering because you believe you can only be at peace if the contract is yours. You are at war with what is." Jason glared at him. "So I should just give up, say whatever and stop trying?" The mentor shook his head. "No, you should keep working. You should learn from what happened, improve where you can, and continue. But there is a difference between learning from the past and being chained to it. There is a difference between caring about results and insisting that reality obey you. Right now, you are demanding that the river flow backward." They walked in silence for a while. Then the mentor added, "Sometimes, the most powerful step in changing your destiny is to stop fighting with the present moment. Not to become passive, but to accept the starting point. Only when you stop saying this should not be happening can you ask, what can I do now from here?" Those words stayed with Jason. That night, instead of replaying the whole situation for the 1000th time, he sat on the edge of his bed and said out loud, "I lost the contract. This is reality. I do not like it, but it is what it is. Let this be what it is. Let me accept that this is my life right now." It felt like swallowing something bitter. But after he said it, there was a tiny space inside him, like a crack in a wall where air could finally pass. In that space, new questions appeared. Not, "How can I undo what happened?" but, "What did this failure show me? Where did I ignore warning signs? How can I support my team now? What other paths are available?" Acceptance did not erase his disappointment. It simply removed the poisonous layer of "this must not be" that was draining his energy. When people tell you to let it be, this is what they mean at a deep level. Do not waste your life wrestling with facts. Feel your emotions fully. Yes, cry, grieve, be angry, talk, process. Then, once the initial wave has passed, turn to face what is in front of you and say, "All right, this is my starting point. From here, what is the wisest response I can make?" If you try to skip straight to fake acceptance without feeling anything, your body and heart will rebel. If you only feel and never accept, you will stay trapped in loops. Real letting be holds both honesty and clarity. Now we might ask, why is it so hard to let things be? Why does the mind cling so strongly, even when we know, in theory, that clinging hurts? From the perspective of the inner path, clinging arises from several deep habits: the belief that we are separate, the fear of loss and emptiness, the confusion about cause and effect, and the illusion that if we just hold tight enough, we can control things that are inherently uncontrollable. Our sense of I is like a small island in a vast sea. We believe this island must defend itself constantly. When something or someone seems to make our island feel bigger, we grasp. When something threatens it, we resist. We forget that both the island and the sea are moving, changing, shaped by causes far beyond our personal will. Imagine you are holding sand in your hand. If you cup your palm gently, the sand stays there. If you squeeze tightly, the sand spills through your fingers. Many situations in life are like that. Relationships, health, opportunities, even your own feelings. The more you try to squeeze them into the shape you want, the more they slip away or turn into something painful. The path of awakening invites us to see this pattern clearly, not just intellectually but in every corner of our experience. It says, look, here is another place where you thought grabbing would save you but actually harmed you. Remember that. Next time, maybe you can loosen your grip a little earlier. Let us tell another story, one that goes inward rather than outward. Imagine a young man named Daniel who has started to meditate. At first, he feels excited. He imagines that if he practices hard enough, he will quickly become calm, wise, maybe even radiant. He reads about stages of concentration and insight, about states of bliss and emptiness. He thinks, I want that. So he sits every day, eyes closed, focusing on his breath. One morning, during his session, something indeed changes. His mind becomes very quiet. His body feels light. He experiences a sense of spaciousness and joy. Afterwards, he is thrilled. He thinks, this is it. I have tasted real peace. The next day, he sits down again expecting the same. But today, his mind is full of thoughts. His body is itchy. He feels restless. There is no bliss, no spaciousness. He becomes frustrated. He thinks, what did I do wrong? Why is it not happening? He tries harder, forcing his mind to be still, pushing away every thought with aggression. The more he grasps for yesterday's experience, the further away it goes. His meditation, which once felt natural, becomes a battleground. Instead of observing his mind with curiosity, he judges each session as success or failure based on whether it matches his memory. His own spiritual longing has turned into a new kind of clinging. One day, he goes to his teacher and complains, yesterday, I reached such a peaceful state, but today I could not. I tried and tried. I am so disappointed. What is wrong with me? The teacher smiles kindly and says, what is wrong is not your mind. What is wrong is your expectation. Yesterday's experience came because conditions lined up. The conditions are different. Thoughts are present. The body feels different. So the experience changes. You are suffering because you want today to be identical to yesterday. You are trying to carve your meditation into stone. But all experiences are like clouds. They form and dissolve. Trying to hold them is like trying to grab a cloud with your hands. Daniel frowned. So I should not try to repeat good experiences. The teacher shakes his head. You should not cling to them. Let them come. Let them go. Learn from them. But do not make them into trophies. When you sit, simply sit. Be aware of what is happening right now, without comparing. If your mind is busy, notice that. If it is calm, notice that. In both cases, let it be. This is how practice deepens. At first, Daniel finds this difficult. He has tasted something sweet and wants it back. But he decides to trust the guidance. So the next time he sits, and his mind is wild, he says silently, right now my mind is busy. Let it be busy. I will stay and watch. He feels the urge to fight. But each time he returns to this attitude, something relaxes. Over weeks and months, he discovers that his deepest growth does not come from chasing special states, but from learning how to stay present with whatever arises: joy, boredom, fear, peace, agitation, and yes, sometimes deep stillness. His practice becomes less dramatic, but more stable. He understands that let it be does not mean being passive. It means not adding an extra layer of struggle on top of what is already here. You can apply this to your life off the cushion too. When emotions arise, the instinct is to push them away or grab them. If you feel sadness, you might tell yourself, I should not feel this. I have to fix it right now. Or you might drown in it, making it your whole identity. If you feel happiness, you might immediately fear losing it or try to force it to stay. Non-clinging invites a different response. It says, sadness is here. Let it be here. I will feel it, breathe with it, observe its shapes. I will not force it away. But I also will not build a house inside it. Or, happiness is here. Let it be here. I will enjoy it fully while it lasts, without insisting that it stay forever. When you live this way, your heart becomes more fluid. Pain hurts, but it does not imprison you. Joy delights, but it does not addict you. You move with life rather than constantly wrestling with it. But there is another question that often arises at this point: if I let things be, Will I not become lazy? Will I not stop trying to improve myself, to change my circumstances, to help others? Is not holding on tightly the only way to make things better? This is one of the biggest misunderstandings. There are two kinds of effort: clinging effort and wise effort. Clinging effort says, I must control everything. I am the sole author of my fate. If I do not push and grab and force, everything will fall apart. It is fueled by fear and ego. It leads to burnout. And often, irony, your very pushing creates resistance. Wise effort says, I will do my best in alignment with my values. I will act where I can act, speak where I can speak, change what I can change. And at the same time, I will recognize that many things are beyond my personal control. I will not tie my entire sense of worth and peace to outcomes. It is fueled by compassion and understanding of cause and effect. Someone who practices non-minus clinging does not sit back and let injustice, cruelty, or harm flourish. They still speak up, protect, create, serve, but they do so from a different inner posture. Their actions are like seeds carefully chosen and planted, not like fists pounding the ground screaming at the sky. Imagine two people working to help a community in need. One is full of clinging. They think, if I do not save these people, I am a failure. If things do not change the way I imagine, everything is meaningless. They throw themselves into the work with intensity, but also with underlying despair. When obstacles arise, they rage at others and at themselves. Eventually, they burn out and leave, feeling defeated. The other person is full of wise effort. They feel the same pain about the situation, but they also understand that change takes time, that many causes are involved, that they can only do their part. They work sincerely, sometimes very hard, but they also rest when needed. When obstacles arise, they adapt where possible. And when something truly cannot be changed, they grieve and let it be. Then look for another way to serve. They may also feel tired, but their flame does not extinguish so easily, because it is not fueled only by personal will. It is supported by understanding and acceptance. You can see how the same outer action can be done from very different inner motivations. Non-minus clinging is not about withdrawing from life. It is about changing the way you hold life in your heart. Let us look at how this plays out in a more subtle realm: your relationship with your own destiny. Many people carry an image of fate as something fixed, written, unchangeable. When bad things happen repeatedly, they say, maybe this is just my destiny. I am doomed to suffer like this. Sometimes, especially when they begin to learn about karma, they become even more fatalistic. I must be paying for past lives. There is nothing I can do. Others go to the opposite extreme. They deny any patterns, deny any larger web of causes. They say, I create everything by pure will. If I just think positively enough, I can bend reality to what I want. When life does not obey, they blame themselves harshly or double down on magical thinking. Both extremes are forms of clinging to helplessness, or clinging to absolute control. The middle way of non-minus clinging recognizes that yes, your life is shaped by many forces: genetics, upbringing, past actions, societal conditions, and perhaps, if you believe it, past lives. At the same time, the way you respond in each moment also shapes your future. Your destiny is both given and created. You are not a powerless leaf, but neither are you a god of the universe. You are a participant in a vast dance. When you cling to a fixed story about your fate, you limit yourself. You might tell yourself, I am unlucky in love. I am bad with money. I am always the one who is betrayed. And then unconsciously act in ways that repeat those patterns. When you cling to a fantasy of perfect control, you set yourself up for bitterness because reality is always more complex than your plans. Non-minus clinging suggests a different attitude. Hold your story lightly. Notice the patterns that seem to repeat. And instead of saying, this always happens to me, this is who I am, say, This has happened often. Maybe there are causes I can understand. Maybe there is something I can do differently. And even where I cannot change the outer situation, I can change how I carry it inside. Think of someone who has grown up in a family where anger is the default reaction. Their parents shout. Their grandparents shouted. Their relatives shout. It would be easy for them to say, "This is just how we are. We are hot-tempered people. It cannot be changed." If they cling to that identity, they will live and die inside it. But if one day they pause and say, "Yes, this pattern is strong. Yes, I have been shaped by it. But I am willing to try something different," then a crack appears in what seemed like solid faith. Each time they choose not to explode. Each time they practice breathing instead of shouting. Each time they apologize after losing control instead of justifying it. They are loosening the grip of inherited karma. They are letting their supposed destiny be seen as a pattern, not a prison. In this way, let it be also means, let my life be what it is right now without adding a story that it must stay this way forever. It is an act of both acceptance and openness. We have spoken a lot about inner attitudes. How can you actually practice this in your daily life? Let us move from abstract ideas to concrete moments. Imagine you are waiting in a long line at a government office. You have other things to do. People are slow. You feel irritation rising. The clinging mind says, "This should be faster. They should be more efficient. My time should not be wasted like this." You start fidgeting, sighing loudly, drafting complaints in your head. In that moment, you have a choice. You can follow the clinging, grip your idea of how things should be, and suffer for the next hour. Or you can experiment with non-minus clinging. You can say silently, "Right now, the line is moving slowly. This is a fact. My irritation is also here. Let it be here. Let the line be slow. I cannot change it by being angry. What can I do now that is useful or kind?" Maybe you breathe more deeply. Maybe you repeat a mantra. Maybe you send good wishes to the tired employees who have been dealing with impatient people all day. Nothing changes externally. The line is still slow. But internally, you have stepped out of the prison of "it must not be this way." Imagine you are at home and your child spills juice on the floor. The clinging mind says, "This should not happen. The floor should be clean. They should be more careful." You bark at them. They get scared. Both of you feel bad. Or you feel the irritation. You feel the impulse to shout. But you pause and say inwardly, "Okay, juice is on the floor. Let it be on the floor. It has already spilled. My job now is to clean it up and maybe teach gently." You still speak firmly, perhaps, but without that extra layer of rage. The moment passes without turning into unnecessary trauma. Imagine you are scrolling on your phone and see someone posting about their perfect vacation, perfect body, perfect relationship. The clinging mind says, "Why is my life not like that? It should be. I deserve that. I am lacking." You feel envy and dissatisfaction. You might even start making impulsive decisions to chase that image. Or you can notice the sting of comparison, acknowledge it, and then say, "Their life looks this way on screen. Mine is different. Let their life be their life, and mine be mine. I do not need to fight with their image. What can I appreciate in my own life right now?" In that simple shift, you loosen the grip of social media illusions on your heart. These are small examples, but they add up. Each time you choose non-minus clinging in daily irritations, you strengthen a muscle that will serve you in bigger storms. A powerful support for this whole practice is the observing awareness we talked about in another video, the part of you that can watch thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. When anger arises, you can say, "Anger is here," instead of "I am anger." When fear arises, you can say, "Fear is passing through," instead of "I am fear." And it will always be this way. That little gap between you and the storm is where "let it be" lies. You might ask, All right, I see the value of letting things be. But how do I know when to accept and when to act? How do I avoid using let it be as an excuse for laziness or cowardice? This is where wisdom and honesty are crucial. Non-minus clinging is not meant to be a shield you hide behind. It is a lens through which you see more clearly. If someone is abusing you, for example, let it be does not mean staying in harm's way telling yourself, "This is karma, I must accept it." That would be a misunderstanding. Accepting reality means recognizing that this person behaves in a harmful way and that staying will continue to hurt you. Wisdom then says, let it be that this is their behavior, and let me act to protect myself, because I value my life. You may not be able to change them, but you can change whether you remain close to them. If you have made a serious mistake, non-minus clinging does not mean saying, "Whatever, it is done," and walking away without taking responsibility. It means honestly acknowledging, "Yes, I did this. I regret it. Let it be that this has happened. I cannot undo it. Now, what can I do to repair?" You let go of the fantasy that the past can be erased and instead embrace the reality that you can respond differently now. In other words, non-minus clinging is always coupled with compassion and integrity. It does not remove your duty to act. It removes your illusion that you can control everything and that your peace depends on everything going your way. As this attitude deepens, something beautiful happens. Your relationships become freer and cleaner. You are less likely to try to possess people, less likely to impose your script on them. You can love someone and still say, "You are not mine. Your life is yours. I wish you well, and I also respect your path, even when it does not fit my plan." This kind of love hurts less because it does not strangle. Your work becomes lighter. You still care about doing well, but you are no longer crushed by every setback. You see each success and failure as one scene in a long movie, not as the final verdict on your worth. You can celebrate without getting drunk on pride and grieve without drowning in despair. Your relationship with yourself softens. Instead of clinging to an image of who you must be, you allow yourself to be human, changing. You can say, right now, "This is who I am. I have these strengths, these weaknesses, these wounds, these potentials. Let me see it clearly and work with it, instead of hating it or trying to pretend I am already finished." This is how letting it be becomes the beginning of real destiny change. Not because you sit back and watch life pass, but because you stop wasting energy fighting with what already isn't free that energy to change what can be changed. Think of a river. If you stand in the middle of the current and shout at the water, "Flow upstream," you will exhaust yourself and nothing will happen. If you accept that the river flows downstream, you can instead ask, "How can I use this flow? Where can I place my boat? How can I navigate?" The river is the same. Your experience of it is completely different. In life, the river of time, cause and effect, and other people's choices is always flowing. Non-minus clinging is the moment you stop trying to force it backward and how to move with it wisely. Before we close, I want to speak to the part of you that might feel this is all too idealistic. You might be thinking, it is easy to say let it be in stories, but when I am in pain, it feels impossible. Let us be honest. In the middle of deep loss, intense anxiety, or heavy depression, you may not be able to say let it be sincerely. You might only be able to say, "This hurts. I hate this. I do not want this." That is okay. The path does not demand that you jump from total resistance to perfect acceptance in one leap. What you can do, even in very dark moments, is to add a tiny thread of willingness alongside your "I do not want this." You can whisper, "And yet, this is what is happening. I am willing, even just a little, to see things as they are. I am willing, even just a little, to stop telling myself that this cannot be." That small willingness is like a crack in a wall. Light enters through it. You can also practice on small things first. Do not wait for big tragedies to train your non-clinging muscle. You strafe it. Weather. Minor disappointments. Little misunderstandings. Each time you feel that tight, this should not be inside. Soften a bit and see what happens if you let it be for a few breaths. Over time, you may find that this softness moves into larger areas of life. You might look back after some years and realize, I still care. I still act. But I am not as tortured as before. I can let go more easily. I can forgive faster. I can sit with uncertainty without immediately reaching for distraction. This is how awakening often looks in real life, not as a sudden explosion of light that erases all problems, but as a gradual easing of the grip, a gradual relaxation of the heart's fists. Now, I would love to turn this question toward you. When you look at your own life, what are you clinging to right now that hurts? Is it a relationship that has already ended? A version of yourself that no longer fits? A dream that belongs to a younger time? A belief about how your family should be? A grudge you have carried for years? What would it feel like, even for a moment, to say, this is how it is right now? I do not like it, but I acknowledge it. Let it be what it is. From here, what can I do next? If you feel comfortable, share in the comments which area of your life you are practicing non-clinging with. You do not need to give all the details. Even a simple sentence like, I am learning to let be my relationship with my parents, or I am trying to let be the fact that my body is aging, can resonate deeply with others. Your honesty can give someone else courage to open their hand a little. If this long reflection has given you even a small shift in perspective, a bit more space around your struggles, I invite you to support this channel. You can subscribe so you do not miss future conversations about awakening, wisdom, cause and effect, compassion, practice, and destiny. You can click like so that more people who are suffering from clinging can find this content. You can leave a comment to join our shared exploration, because your voice and your story are part of this path. If you feel called to support more deeply, you can consider becoming a member. That kind of support helps us continue to create long, careful pieces like this one, which are not just quick tips but companions for your inner journey over many days and nights. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end. May you gradually discover that you do not need to hold so tightly. May your heart learn the strength of softening. May you find that when you let things be, your ability to respond wisely, to love, and to grow does not shrink, it expands. And may this gentle, courageous let it be become the real doorway through which your destiny begins to change.
Every person carries a certain energy. Your focus, your dreams, your purpose. Bracelet is a physical reminder of that energy. Symbol you wear daily, that pushes you to stay grounded, balanced, and aligned. If one of the bracelets caught your eye, you can order it through the link in the description and check more powerful styles on our homepage store. Choose the one that strengthens your journey.